Hello, welcome back to Steve's Corner. uh, Eating dinner on the front porch. This is something, man. Me and the baby went out to eat last night. We went and met my daughter and son-in-law over at Cracker Barrel last night, and you know how they got them daggone rocking chairs out front, and got that big wide porch like that, sitting there. Cause we got there a little before they did, so we were sitting there rocking in them chairs, and it made me think back to my granddad's house down in South Carolina. They had a big old farmhouse like thing. Stood up probably about 3 foot off the ground, you know. It had them pillars under it, and it had no underpinnings. You could see all the way under it and stuff. And you know, when we was kids, there was mom's family is a big family. Yeah, I don't know, it was 10, 12, 14 of them, something like that. And they were scattered all over the East Coast, Pennsylvania all the way down to Florida. Never had anybody that lived in Georgia. I think I got a cousin that had a son moved down there for a little while, either there or Tennessee, one. But mom even had a cousin that lived in New York for a while, up in Syracuse. So, you know, it made it great for a kid. I mean, you know, every 4 or 5 hours you could stop and visit, you know what I mean? But her and her sisters would get together, and they'd try to all show up at my grandparents' house during the summer when all the kids were off, you know. And they'd try to work out where a lot of them could get together. And that's what happened, usually in the summertime. There might be 20 people or 30 people there, you know, with all counting the kids and the parents and all that stuff, siblings. And whenever they were cooking dinner, you had the whole kitchen full of women in there cooking dinner. But once it got ready, you know, they'd call us kids in there and make us a plate for us to take out on the front porch and eat. All adults got to sit in there in the kitchen there. And it was just a good time, man. You know, you're sitting out there messing around, and porch full of kids sitting on the porch in the chairs and everything else. You know, that's kind of what I was thinking about last night, sitting in that rocker over there at Cracker Barrel. How much times have changed. Now they don't even have daggone porches on houses. You have stoops anymore. And I think we miss it a lot by not having it. It ought to be mandatory to have a front porch on a house. I got a picture of Granddad's house there in the house. I should have brought it out here, but I didn't. It's hanging on the wall anyway, so I'd have taken the baby off. I'd have messed with her decor. But yeah, it was good times. You know, I remember Granddad coming in from the field, you know, sometime around dinner time, a little bit before dinner, or right at dinner time. You know, he might had 3 or 4 watermelons in the back of his vehicle, you know. After dinner, we'd all go out there and sit down there on the porch. I mean, it'd be kids and adults both all hanging all over that porch. And he had a couple of rockers. He always had a bunch of rockers, or a handful of rockers, just like them ones over there, Cracker Barrel. Some of them with the slats in the bottom of it, and some of them had the wicker stuff. And that wicker stuff would give way after a few years, that weave. And you'd have a big hole in the middle of one. You'd have to nail a couple boards across it. But that was neat, you know, and I could look across the field, because there was a big field on the other side of the road in front of him, because his farm was back behind the house or either to the right, but somebody else on that field in front of him. And a lot of times during the summer they used to crop dust that field, and I used to love to watch that plane swoop down in that field like that and just barely miss them trees coming back up. That was a lot of fun to me. I ain't seen a crop duster in a long time. But that's what I was sitting there thinking about. And then I was over at Mama's earlier today visiting, and they had 3 or 4 news stories on there. It tells me just how crazy the world's gotten, you know. And it kind of makes me appreciate going down to the Cracker Barrel anymore. Or the good times that we did have, you know. But they had a daggone story on there We had two young teenagers killed in a car accident up on the other end of the county here, I believe it was. I mean, too young. I don't know if it had to be 16. But I mean, cut down early in life like that, man. It just, I don't think they were doing anything wrong. I think it was just an accident. Don't know the full story, but I mean, it's just a shame something like that happens, And then you had that daggone Iraqi president get killed in that plane crash. That makes you worry about what all is going on, what's going to happen over there overseas in the Mideast, man. Ain't no telling what kind of mess we're going to get out of that now. And then there was another story on there about this shows you how far the world's came. The city of Richmond, they got troubles with bathroom destruction in the high schools. They're talking about having to have teaching bathroom etiquette to the kids up there. I mean, they showed pictures, man. Doors ripped off of stalls, toilets and sinks busted and thrown around. I mean, my goodness, man. I mean, how sorry do you have to be not to understand? You don't tear somebody else's junk up. I mean, that's just terrible. It just that it kind of gives me a more better appreciation of the way we were able to grow up. I don't know, man. It was just something I was thinking about. But y'all take care, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll take care of you. Talk to y'all later. How's that? We'll talk at you later.